welcome to Dad's 7th round 5-word challenge story. Now, just to recap the words that I had to include in this story, they are crown, robot, tricycle, volcano, and parrot. The title of the story is The Robot Knight. King Cruyff was a happy king with a very healthy kingdom. Everyone loved the man and his wife, Queen Samara. One day, though, the castle cleaner fell off a chair whilst changing a candle and broke their leg. The king was devastated, but being a good man, made sure to help the person get better. The problem, though, was that the castle would not have someone to help tidy up for quite some time, as everyone in the kingdom had a job of their own. King Cruyff and Queen Samara did their very best to keep on top of it whilst carrying out all their many other duties, but it was not working. They were not as good as the cleaner for a start. Soon the castle became messy. Candles were not replaced, so it became very dark. Logs not put on the many fires inside the castle, so it became very cold. King Cruyff was becoming sadder by the day, as he became ashamed of the sight before his eyes. Troubles grew as the kingdom noticed that their usually joyful king was not himself, and they too began getting sad. Now the whole kingdom was suffering. Queen Samara had to fix the problem, and fast. She hated seeing her husband, best friend, and of course the king, feel so sad. He was not even wearing his crown anymore. The good lady went for a walk. She found that she could think so much better when walking. Step after step, she walked through the trees, over the river, along the streets, and even the market. But it was no good. She still could not think of anything that would help. In fact, at the market, she too was sad at the sight of rotting food and dirty clothes. Then she bumped into a merchant she had never seen before, who was carrying a rather large box. Stopping right in front of Queen Samara, the travelling trader stated that his own people had heard about the king and wanted to help, so he and his crew had sailed the seas to deliver a gift that they are certain will cheer the king up. The queen looked the man up and down suspiciously before saying, "Your gesture is kind. Your intentions seem pure. But I see no ship in the harbour, and your clothes look like fabrics we have never seen before." "Ah, yes," the man said undeniably, before continuing, "the queen is clearly wise, and what you say is true. But our people are advanced. Our technology is great. Let me put down this box and allow me to demonstrate." What the lady witnessed was beyond belief. She thought she was seeing things. Was she becoming poorly too? Queen Samara fainted. When she woke, it was like everything had been a dream. There were sounds of laughter, light poured into rooms, fires roared, the smell of delicious food wafting through the castle. What is going on? And that is when she noticed the note at the side of the bed. All it said was, "From good people to good people. You're welcome, the seafaring traveller." The queen found the king in the great hall, singing and dancing with someone. No, something else. What was it? "Hello, darling, and thank you for the gift. Josh is truly amazing," the king said, continuing his salsa dance with his new dance partner. Queen Samara did not have a chance to feel jealous at the thought of the king dancing with something else, as her attention was drawn to the large crate this Josh thing had come from. Jolly old superhuman, Josh, it said on the packaging, and so far it was clearly living up to its name. Once the king was exhausted and could not dance any more, he explained what his new-found robot friend had achieved, whilst his good lady caught up on her beauty sleep. Josh had cleaned the castle, lit the fires, replaced the candles, milked the cows, fed the pigs, walked the dogs, as well as giving the king a yoga class and teaching him salsa, so he could impress the queen, his one true love. The kingdom became a happy place once more. That was until the ground began to rumble. Stables shook and horses fell over. King Cruyff had to send a scout to investigate the source of all this commotion. There was only one person, well, bird actually, fit for the task: Polly the parrot. Polly was a colourful bird, but one thing was certain: she never stopped yakking, whether it was giving advice, observations, or just being mean to people as they walked past. But if there was one person, or indeed bird, you wanted to give you all the details, Polly Parrot was definitely that bird. With a squawk, and after a very long description of her intended flight path, altitude, working hours, and break times, she set off. The kingdom carried on gleefully, but the king was worried, and his fears became reality when the never-stop-talking parrot returned, with slightly frazzled feathers. Squawk, squawk, squawk. The beak just didn't stop moving. But what Polly had to say was very grim listening. The very existence of the kingdom was at stake. In summary, the rumbling was coming from Mount Beautiful, only it was bubbling, hissing, steaming, and there was hot liquid inside. Turns out it's not a mountain at all. It was actually a volcano. Poor King Cruyff did not know what to do as he paced up and down the courtyard. He wanted to protect his people and kingdom from this imposing threat. What could he do? Josh! Josh! Where are you? I need to speak with you, the king called out. But there was no answer. The robot was nowhere to be seen. It had already decided to undertake the most courageous of missions. Taking a tricycle from the castle yard, Josh pedalled quickly, dodging lava bombs as his paintwork began to bubble due to the heat, as this jolly old superhuman got ever closer to the fiery well. Standing on the edge, Josh peered into the volcano, the lava rising. It would not be long now before it would start to overflow. Suddenly a scream echoed through the hillside. Josh, no! It was the king and queen. Having learnt what the robot was intending to do, they set off to save it. But it was too late. Josh waved, a tear appearing on his LED light-faced screen, before diving straight into the volcano. King Cruyff and Queen Samara stood there, open-mouthed, as the robot disappeared into the fiery mountain. But would it be the last time they saw their mechanized friend? Josh dove into the bubbling lava. He was determined to save the kingdom. As his paint peeled, his circuits fried, the robot savior found the source of the problem. Nappies. Yes, dirty, smelly nappies. Someone had been throwing them into the volcano, and they had blocked the lava plug. Holding his digital nose, not that Josh could smell, of course, the jolly old superhuman pulled out the blockage. The lava disappeared down the plug hole quickly, back to the centre of the earth. The kingdom was saved. But what about the brave robot? And all those nappies? Extremely frazzled, Josh climbed out of the volcano. One of his robotic legs had melted, so he had to crawl. However, he was also carrying a big ball of the dirty nappies on his back. Upon seeing the sight of their saviour materializing out of the top of the volcano, the people of the kingdom cheered. The king rushed to the robot's side and ordered his guards to dispose of the smelly waste properly in bins around the kingdom, whilst asking knights to carry Josh back to the castle, unsure this brave robot would survive. Back at the castle, a feast was ordered to help celebrate the saving of the kingdom. Despite his very sorry-looking state, the kingdom's citizens cheered and chanted his name as Josh was made a knight and keeper of the kingdom by the grateful king and queen, although the king was sad at the thought of what may become of this brave robot. As the sun began to set, Josh was carried to a very nice room as people began to try and work out how to save him. But soon night fell, and saying good night, the king went to bed. During the hours of darkness, the strangest thing happened. A wise old owl flew into Josh's room and sprinkled something over the broken metallic body, then simply flew away again. Morning came. King Cruyff jumped out of bed and ran to his friend's room to check on him. Only he was greeted by something, or should I say, someone completely different. Josh, or the jolly old superhuman, was not a broken robot anymore. Stood before the king was a man, Sir Josh, keeper of the kingdom, a brave knight who would protect the king and all the people for many years. From a robot to a man, Josh's bravery and courage would be sung and become a lesson to all for generations to come. The end.